2013, and Microsoft was about to make its biggest mistake ever. Its name?
Xbox One.
The Xbox One. And no, it wasn't that the console about to be presented was inherently bad or disappointing in any technical sense. But the strategy that had been designed around it was utterly disastrous, focusing so little on it as a gaming device and creating so much noise around its entertainment center capabilities.
TV remote, TV experience, TV.
Something that is clearly not a priority for gamers. Their E3 presentation was almost exclusively focused on that sole aspect, and, along with other poor decisions like blocking used games and a 24-hour mandatory internet connection, didn't help either. Players felt betrayed, and Sony lost no time taking advantage of this opportunity, announcing the PS4 at a $100 lower price than the Xbox One.
PlayStation 4 will be available at $399.
Coupled with a simple but demolishing demonstration.
Thanks.
Which surely still gives nightmares to the executives inside Xbox. Microsoft's big bet had been a resounding failure, and although they quickly realized their missteps and backtracked on many of those decisions, the damage was already done. From that moment on, a slow but steady decline began for Xbox, losing much of the momentum gained during the golden years of the Xbox 360. While that generation was followed by great titles and saw very interesting hardware launches like the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X, it was clear that it was not enough to stop Sony as the indisputable leader of the 8th generation of consoles. Even Nintendo, coming off a spectacular failure as it was the Wii U, managed to make a comeback with the Nintendo Switch, achieving sales that not only surpassed the Xbox One, but would even end up surpassing those of the PS4. But, well, that is a topic for another video. For Xbox, losing such a crucial generation represented a major blow, and as Phil Spencer pointed out years later, that was the worst generation to lose. It was the time when players built their digital libraries, linking themselves not just emotionally, but financially to their console, making it much harder for a player to switch brands in the future. Under this context, the dilemma for Xbox was clear, or something was done in order to survive in a market increasingly dominated by Sony, or rather, be out of the game. And as a result of this, a new vision was born, one that would seek to revive the brand from its 2013 disaster. As a first step of this, we saw in 2017 the arrival of Xbox Game Pass. With this new service, Microsoft was trying to replicate what companies like Netflix or Spotify had achieved, where instead of selling products individually, they offered access to a wide catalog with varied and constantly updated content as long as you pay a monthly fee. Game Pass was well received by the public, and over time it solidified as the core strategy for Xbox future plans. And as the years went by, one thing was becoming clear. Microsoft no longer saw the consoles as their main priority, but rather the games, precisely the services derived from them. This allowed them to reach a much wider audience, one they would otherwise never have been able to reach. Think about it. A multi-platform service as attractive as Game Pass was a win-win. Xbox could reach a user base they otherwise would never have been able to access. All it took was a PC, or even a phone thanks to Xbox Cloud Gaming, for even loyal PlayStation or PC users to enjoy the Xbox experience without having to buy a console. Although, as you can imagine, there was one group that wasn't benefiting at all with all of this: the Xbox fans themselves. Those who had chosen to trust Microsoft and purchase the Series X or Series S for the new generation in 2020 witnessed how their investment seemed to be increasingly less worthy over time. First, with failed launches such as Halo Infinite and Starfield, which were once highly anticipated titles that ended up being big disappointments. But then, Microsoft's obsessive focus on reaching the most consumers possible led them to abandon one of the pillars of identity for any console brand: exclusives. While the trend had been clear for years, it became fully evident with the "This is an Xbox" campaign, demonstrating that through Game Pass, any platform could provide the Xbox experience without any need to buy the console. But the worst was still to come, and that is that in 2025, something once considered unthinkable was announced. Several franchises, among which were Gears of War, Forza Horizon, and the legendary Halo, once Xbox's most important exclusives, would officially arrive on PlayStation. Although both Sony and Xbox had previously released certain exclusives for PC, seeing the brand's emblematic titles on its direct competitor was a clear and powerful message. The console wars was finally over. At the end, Xbox's strategy with Game Pass had shown to be as ambitious as risky. As many know, Microsoft made massive investments to add value to this service, demanding results that would justify the cost. Consequently, in October 2025, Xbox announced a substantial price increase across all its plans for both PC and console. The community's response was immediate and overwhelming. A strong rejection of this price hike, which made Game Pass a less attractive option. Thus, Xbox once again fell into its self-sabotage cycle. After all of this, we are left with a massive, paradoxical corporation. A company that spent billions to own the market's biggest IPs, only to use them to actively devalue its own console brand value. The question is no longer who will win the next console generation, at least no more for Xbox, but what happens next? Will Xbox fully commit to becoming a publisher for all platforms? Or will they find a new, defining purpose for whatever comes for the next generation? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. See you on the next one.